Cameron, usually when I speak to a player for the first time, I'll say how you're settling in, but I think Saturday was a good way of proving how you're settling into the football club.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously having been here late last week as well, it kind of gave me a little bit of extra time going into the game just to get familiarised with the chaps and obviously the patterns of play and obviously the things we were going to be doing out on the pitch. We did a lot of work in the week, so it gave me a good opportunity to take a good look at things and get used to it.
You've got bags of experience and still masses of quality. Are you enjoying working with some of the other players at MK Dons as well, and passing on that experience that you've got? It must help them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, having known Louis Thompson and Carlton from Norwich, and obviously Richard Keogh from Derby, speaking to the gaffer and stuff like that about what he wants me to do in terms of the role in the team and also off the pitch as well. It's about passing that knowledge on to the boys, and obviously there's some young talents here, some hot prospects who the gaffer's keen to sort of pass on that little bit of wisdom to, and obviously having that sort of experienced boys through the spine of the team, from the goalkeeper to the defenders, obviously having another striker alongside the younger strikers who've got at the club is obviously going to be beneficial to the younger players, and hopefully if they can take anything off it, whether it's a little bit of advice, pulling someone to the side, or whether they're just watching your game and seeing good habits you do in your game and sort of incorporating that into their own game.
And from your perspective, you just look like you're enjoying football.
Yeah, I mean, obviously having not played since the first game of lockdown, you're just itching to get back out there, and obviously waiting around in the summer for things to materialise and sort of being disappointed the season started and you've not got somewhere sorted. It just adds to that frustration, and obviously I was keen to come and play, and that was the sole reason I chose to come here. Obviously having spoke to the gaffer, a few conversations, and then I was just like, look, let's just do it, and I'm not going to wait around any longer for anything else to happen, sort of thing.
From my perspective, and I've seen a lot of managers come and go at Stadium MK from the very beginning all the way through to now, and Russ is a young, to a certain extent, inexperienced manager, but boy, he's focused and impressive in the way that he talks to us, in the way that he handles himself. Is that one of the reasons, and does that come across to you as players, regardless of the fact that he is, still a very early ex-player and now manager? He's got a very impressive aura in the way that he goes about his work.
No, certainly. I mean, to be fair to him, even as a player, he had them sort of qualities and skill sets as a player. And when he was captain at Norwich, he demonstrated them all the time. And you could see he was quite keen in terms of the next sort of progression after football. He was always going to go into coaching management. He sort of aligned himself with that quite early at Norwich and set the wheels in motion quite early. So obviously as a player he was quite as he is as a manager, basically he's quite intense, and obviously a good leader, showed great attention to details and everything. He always wanted to improve, always wanted to sort of be the best he could be as a player. So he's obviously taken that into the management side of things, and in terms of his style of play and how he wants to play, it's very unique. So I think it does require a lot of attention to detail, sort of thing, and it does take a lot of planning and a lot of thought process going into it. So obviously it's only going to help us because I mean the way we play is so unique to this division. Even most teams in the Championship probably won't play like this. So yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, just to be a part of something like this, and as a player, even myself, it's something new to me, playing this sort of style and system. So it's always learning. You're never too old to learn. You're never too good to learn. So it's brilliant. The coaching staff has got a fantastic as well. They've got some really good methods, and the ideas of football is fantastic.
And just finally on Carlton Morris as well. Every time I've watched him play, I've been hugely impressed with the way he plays. But it always strikes me that he makes it easier for the players that play around him. The work that he does makes it easier for the people that he's working with. Is that a fair comment? Yeah,
I'd say that Carlton reminds me a lot of myself when I was his age, similar. Your teammates and your managers always appreciate you for the work you do. Carlton's got every tool in the bag for me. He's been slightly unfortunate in terms of his injuries over the last few years, but having seen him play and having seen him at Norwich, he's developed a whole lot. He's got all the attributes to go to the top, in my opinion. It's great for us. We've got a player who's hungry to show everybody what he's capable of doing. If we can keep him fit, and I'll be keeping on at him. I was on him Saturday. I was disappointed in the first half he didn't get a goal, and I said to him in the second half, you need to be in between the sticks. and he found himself in a great position and slotted his goal away. And I said to him after, you should have had two. You got to be greedy for goals. So I'll be keeping on at him to make sure he's on his toes and is showing everybody what he's really capable of doing.
Super stuff. Thank you.
Cheers.
Now, a lot's been made of your experience, Cameron, but it's not just about passing it on to the youngsters, is it? You're still here to do a job, and that's score goals for MK Dons, which you certainly started off well doing.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, obviously, if I was here just to be a part of an experience thing, I'd be on the sidelines yelling with the gaffer and Luke. But no, of course, it comes in hand in hand. I mean, obviously, I still believe I can play at any level. I'm fit, I'm strong, I'm athletically incredible for my age. But in football, a lot's made of age nowadays. So people automatically look at you and say, "Oh, well, you just turned 34 and your legs must have gone, or you're not hungry anymore, or you've had a good career." All these sort of things, all these are stigmas what come with the age. It's nonsense for me. If you can do it, you can still do it. It's as simple as that. If you've got appetite to go and play football, you'll go and play anywhere. Like I've showed, I'll come here and play football because there's an opportunity for me here to do so. So, from my perspective, that's what it's about. It's about playing as long as I can and enjoying it. And this is part of another journey for me, another learning process. And yeah, I'm excited to be here.
And you look gutted to be coming off on Saturday. Was that because you just missed the chance before, or was that because you thought you still had the full 90 in you?
No, I kind of knew I was coming off anyway. We sort of spoke about it before, about getting to that point, and then it's sort of obviously not pushing too much, but obviously not having a pre-season and not having any game time since sort of June. Obviously that was going to be a big factor, but I was gutted with the opportunity because I did feel myself getting tired, and I thought I've given him a chance to get back at me and tackle me when I knew I should have pulled the trigger a lot quicker, actually. So that was my sort of disappointment, that I didn't get a chance to sort of get another couple of shots off as the game was opening up a little bit. I could sense the game was opening up and it was there for the taking.
And it was a first win, and hopefully the first of many, but how frustrating was it to have been part of the Portsmouth game prior to that and to have played as well as they have, but not got that win? Yeah,
I mean, obviously the boys have been slightly disappointed over the last 3 or 4 games prior to Saturday's win, because obviously the performances have been there, and it's just sometimes the results don't merit the performance, and it can be sort of disheartening, to be honest with you, because when you're trying to incorporate a new style of football, and you're getting so much joy playing that style of football, but the results aren't quite there. It's sort of it is sort of a little bit demoralising. It's a little bit like deflating a little bit, coming off the pitch, dominating every stat, dominating everything, and you're playing against teams who finding a way to beat you, and you're making mistakes and you're getting punished for it. But sometimes that's the case, and it's a 46 game season. I always say it, it's 46 games. There's never a need to panic. Once we really click and get into gear and find ourselves within this system and within this style, it'll be a lot more smoother. We'll lose less games. We'll stop making as many mistakes, and ultimately when you play like this, the mistakes are highlighted and you are punished. So it is one of those sort of things where you've just got to sort of eradicate them from the game. Keep believing in your methods and the way you're playing, and then obviously the performances will obviously be the same, and obviously the results will eventually come.
And finally for me, you've been there just about 10 days now. Are the MK Dons players better than you potentially thought they would be when you first signed?
There's some talent here for sure. I mean, obviously speaking to Russell and a few of the chaps here, they said, "No, there's 1 or 2 younger guys who have got ability," and I think you've seen that in the games yourselves. You've seen the likes of young David in holding midfield. He's a brilliant athlete, gets around the pitch, can pass the ball. Obviously you've got young Regan Poole out in the wing back position, who's a fantastic athlete. Again, technically really good. So it's obviously it's good stuff. You've got some good younger players on the fringes of things who are obviously going to push and contend for places around the team as the season goes on. So I mean, obviously, just from seeing the boys in training, they're hungry. They're young, they're hungry, and I always say to them, look, it's a young man's game now. It's your time, guys. So if you're good enough, then you're going to get your opportunities.